Hello everyone. I am looking completely impartially at Fallout 76. I am bringing you all the information from the beta, and I am looking today at crafting. Now, crafting in Fallout 76 is one of the biggest and most constant thing that you will have to do. You start with a very small amount of components, and you're not really able to craft much of anything aside from basic armor and a basic weapon. So to build, you need components and you need to be at a workbench. There are many different workbenches, and each workbench will let you build things like weapons, armor, food, drink, and ammo. Now, you will only be able to make a somewhat limited amount of items to start with. But as you start exploring, you will discover new schematics that will unlock new items in your build menus. Now, the main way to get components are mostly by either looting. You will find some components through loot, but most of your components will be found by breaking down junk. Now, I did touch on this in one of the other videos, but essentially when you look at the junk in your inventory, you will see that each item can be broken down into different pieces of junk. You have the ability to either break everything down and keep the components, or you can just hold on to the items in case you want to sell them for caps instead. Some components will be considerably harder to find. For example, copper is very hard to find. So should you be able to find something that has copper in it, there is a high possibility that every player is looking for that, and there's a chance that that might actually make it more valuable than the cap value states. Now, there is one exception to this, and that is when you're crafting using your camp device and you're building a base. Now, I am going to be focusing on the camp building in a separate video, but essentially it will list the components that you need, and then you place down the parts you want to build your camp. So it won't go into your inventory. You either place it down or you break it up back into components. You can't hold those items in your inventory. Now, there is an ability to gain schematics for crafting through the online shop. Now, I am going to discuss microtransactions at a later date as well, but so far, from what I've seen that's available, most of the schematics appear to be cosmetic based, so they're not going to give you an advantage necessarily within the game. As well as crafting items at workbenches, you also have the option to disassemble items and mod weapons. Now, obviously you have to find the mods before you're able to use them, but once you've found a mod for a handgun, for example, you can then use that mod as long as you've got the components for any handgun you happen to have or create from that point forward. Now, so far, finding items to create the basic armor and the weapons and even some of the mods has been okay. The food and water components have been the hardest for me to find, because a lot of the recipes require very specific things to make. And just collecting dirty water is relatively difficult, especially as I'm playing on my own, so I can't explore as quickly as I would like because enemies and that are running around, and it's a little bit difficult for me. Now, another thing that you need to do will be to repair your items and your armor. They have condition, and it will go down the more that they're used. If I'm being honest, the condition hasn't really gone down enough on any of the weapons that I have to repair. So it's a good sign. I like that. That's pretty decent so far. But I do have a fair amount of components around should I need to repair them at any point. So I'm not too worried. I think that's a pretty good part of the game. Okay, well, that is everything that you need to know about crafting. Frankly, there's not much to it. For those who have played Fallout in the past, it is relatively similar. If you do want to know what else is involved in Fallout 76, then please take a look at my other videos. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.